Okay, so number 7 says solve the multiplication and division problems. Oops. Whoa, it's not there? Hold on a second. There we go. Solve the multiplication and division problems below. So same sort of thing, multiplying, dividing with powers of 10. No exponents this time, so just the power of 10. So we have 1,000 as a power of 10. It's 10 times 10 times 10. 1/10 is a power of 10. It's 1/10 of, no, it's 1/100th of 10, right? So we have 1 is a power of 10. 1 is 1/10. A tenth is 1/100th of a 10 because we're going that way. All right, so let's see how this all pans out and how we should be thinking about things. Remember, the thinking is more important than your answers. I probably haven't said that in a few videos, but it is. 78 divided by 100. So when we're multiplying by 100 and factors of 100, we know that, see, I don't know which direction this really goes. So I'm sorry about that. Does this go, is that your left or right? Because that's going to be very important. But if I do down here, okay, here. Let's do a quick thing. All right, when I'm multiplying, I have this number 3, right? I have the number 3. When I'm multiplying by 10 and factors of 10, okay? How would I say that? Greater than 10 or greater. So when I have 10, okay, let's do this down here. Hold on a second. We're really going to need to get some thought process in here. Sorry about all that. I'm not even going to truncate it because I think it's important you watch the thinking happening. So let's say I have a number like 3. All right. I'm talking about anything greater than 10. So any factor of 10 that is greater than or equal to 10. Right. This digit is going to move to the left, okay, by the factor of that, 10. So if it's 3 times 10, it's 30. That 3 has moved, okay? So when we multiply 3 times 100, it's now moved 2 spots, okay? It wasn't the ones, it went tens, hundreds, okay? When we divide, however, by factors of 10, what happens? 3 divided by 10. You're right. It's going to move to the right. We're going to move to the right. So that 3 is going to actually be 3/10, because it's 3 divided by 10. If you don't believe me, 3 divided by 10. 3/10, 3/10, 3/10, 3/10, 3/10, 3/10, 3/10. What do we think 3 divided by 100 might be? Make a guess. Go for it. Make a guess. It's good to guess. You're right. 0 and 3/100ths. Again, if we think about that unfinished division, 3 over 100. 3/100ths. 3/100ths. It's all connected. All right, so when we multiply, now the tricky part here is, as we know, right, is when our factor is less. It's a factor of 10. It's less than 10. So let's look at some factors of 10. We have 10. We have 100, 1,000, 0.1, so 1/10, 100. Those are factors of 10 as well. So when I'm multiplying this way, okay, then my number is going to go this way. It's going to be almost like dividing. So multiplying by 1/10 is almost, it's the same as dividing by 10. Okay, and then if I divide by these numbers, which I don't know if we're going to have to do. If I divide by that 10th, right, what happens? How many tenths are in that number? It increases. So if I divide by this, then it's like I'm multiplying. I'm going that way. All right. So if we got that, great. If you didn't, that's okay too. Let's look at some work, because that might be the first time that we've explained that. So we have 78 divided by 100. Again, we're dividing by a factor greater than 10. So that means we are moving, our digits are moving to the right. Okay? So how many spots to the right are they moving? Well, one spot would be 10, another spot would be 100. Okay, so we're dividing by 100, so I'm moving 2 spots to the right. Tens, ones, tenths. So my 7 goes from the tens to the tenths, and my 8 goes from the ones to the hundredths. And where did that 0 come from? Well, you know how many zeros are to the left of the 7? Infinite, an infinite amount of zeros. Infinite. All right, 5.4 times 1,000, so we're multiplying, so that's going to be growing exponentially, growing by 3 factors of 10 by 1,000. So my digits are going to move 3 places to the left. So 3 places to the left, we start with 10, or with ones, then we go tens, hundreds, tens, thousands. So that's going to, my 5 digits going to be in the 5. Thousands, 4 moves to the hundreds, and again those zeros, again there's an infinite amount of zeros this way, so that's where those zeros are coming from, they're shifting. Alright, 3 and 27 is divided by 0.1, so this is what I was talking about. So how many 0.1s are in 3.27? A bunch of them. So this is almost like multiplying by 10, right? Yeah. So we're going to have 32.7. Yeah, so everything's going to shift one place to the left. So dividing by 0.1, so dividing by 1/10 is the same as multiplying by 10. Same thing. It's how, because you're asking how many tenths are in 3.27. Well, there's 32.7 tenths. There's 32.7 tenths in the number 3 and 27 hundredths. 32 and 7 tenths. 0.29 times 100. So again, my digits are shifting 2 spots. 10, 100 to the left. So my 2 goes to the ones, to the tens. So the 2's and the tens, 9's and the ones. We're at 29. 0.9 times 0.01. So remember, we divide by these numbers, it gets bigger. We multiply by these numbers, they get smaller. So this is almost like, what, dividing by 100. Right? What is 0.01 of 9? 0.9. 9 tenths. What's 1/100th of 9 tenths? So this means that my 9 is going to shift to the right 2 spots. So I'm going to get 9 is going to be thousandths, so 9 thousandths. So 1/100th of 9 tenths is 9 thousandths. And finally we have 251 and 6 tenths divided by 100. So again, when we divide by that factor greater than 10, we're shifting that number to the right. 100, that's one spot is 10, a second spot is 100, so that's 2 spots. So that this number, the digit, sorry, that's in the digit which is 2, that's in the hundreds, that's going to shift 1 and then 2 spots to the right. So my 2 is actually going to be in the ones. Now I know I have my decimal point next, and then I have 5, 1, and 6. So 251 and 6 tenths divided by 100 leaves me with 2 and 516 thousandths.